So what do you mean by this Coulomb's inverse square law? As you know, like poles repel each other. As we know, like poles repel each other. Similarly, when you are considering about the opposite poles, unlike poles, if you are taking unlike poles, you will be saying that unlike poles will attract each other. So like poles repel each other or unlike poles attract each other. If so, we can say that there is a force of attraction or force of repulsion in between the two poles. Force of attraction, or there may be a force of repulsion between the poles, isn't it? So between the poles or between the pole strengths, what we can say, there is an force of attraction or there is a force of repulsion. So the magnitude of, so we can say the magnitude and the direction. Okay, magnitude and direction of force can be determined with the help of Coulomb's inverse square law. Can be determined with the help of Coulomb's inverse square law. So when you are considering about this Coulomb's inverse square law, we can state this Coulomb's inverse square law in such a way that if you are having two pole strengths, one of the pole strength is having a value Qm and another pole strength is also having a value Qm. See, if you are considering two pole strengths means you have to consider two magnets or two magnetic dipoles, because magnetic monopole is not at all possible. So we are considering two Bohr magnets or two magnetic dipoles. One, let us consider it as A and another one consider it as B. So the pole strength of one of the Bohr magnet is QMA at one end, and the other end also you will be having the same value. And for magnet B, I am considering the pole strength at this end as QMB. The other end is also having the same value QMB. The distance between the two pole strengths, let us consider this distance as R. If so, in between these two pole strengths, there may be either attraction or repulsion depending on the nature of the poles. If the both poles are of same nature, repulsive force will be available, and if both poles are of same nature, attractive force will be available. The force of attraction or force of repulsion will be acting along the line joining the two poles which are along its axis. Now, if you want to calculate the force of attraction or repulsion between these two pole strengths, it is stated that the force of attraction or repulsion between the two pole strengths is directly proportional to product of the pole strengths, directly proportional to the product of pole strengths, and inversely proportional to, and F is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Square of the distance between them. This we are taking or considering it as the Coulomb's inverse square law. How you can able to write it mathematically? See, as that you have studied in electrostatics, here also you can write like this. The force F directly proportional to product of the pole strength. So Qm of A and Qm of B. Similarly, when you are considering the second part, the force F is inversely proportional to, so 1 by square of the distance between them. Along what direction it is acting? The force is acting, okay, force is acting along the line joining, along the line joining both the pole strengths, along the line joining both the pole strengths. It may be repulsive if both pole strengths are of same nature, and attractive if both are of opposite nature. So when I am combining this, how I can write? On combining this, I can write force is directly proportional to QMA, then QMB divided by R square. On removing proportionality, I have to introduce a constant. So I can say F equal to, I am introducing a constant K, QM of A, QM of B divided by R square. If I am writing this force in terms of vector quantity, because force force is always considered to be a vector quantity. So if you are taking force as vector quantity and if you are representing it as F vector, then F vector is equal to K into QMA into QMB divided by R square into R cap. Then what is the next one? What will be the value of K? But what we have stated, the K as an proportionality constant. The value of K is considered to be mu0 divided by 4 pi in SI units. Mu0 by 4 pi in SI units. What is meant by this value mu0? Mu0 is also a constant, and that constant we are calling it out as permeability of the medium, permeability of the free space or air medium, permeability of free space or air medium. See, if the medium is other than air means, if the medium is, okay, if the medium is other than air, then what will happen? See, if the medium is other than air, then the value of K will be equal to mu by 4 pi. Then what is the value of mu? Mu is considered to be permeability. Mu is considered to be permeability of the medium in which the pole strengths are being placed. But let us consider that the pole strengths are placed in air medium. So therefore, I can write F vector is equal to, I am taking like this, considering the medium as free space or air or the vacuum, medium as free space or vacuum or air, then we can say F vector equal to mu0 divided by 4 pi into QMA, QMB divided by R square into R cap. This is considered to be the equation for the force between two pole strengths given by Coulomb's inverse square law. See, what is the value of mu0? Mu0, we have stated that it is the permeability of free space or air medium. This mu0 is equal to 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 Henry by meter. So mu0 is considered to be 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 Henry by meter. This we are calling it out as the Coulomb's inverse square law in what? In magnetism. See, but later on it was found out that this Coulomb's inverse square law is abundant in universe. This was not practicable because monopole is not possible. Monopole strength is not possible. That is the reason why whenever we are taking this Coulomb's inverse square law in magnetism, we will be taking it as two magnetic dipoles or two Bohr magnets. We won't consider as a single magnetic pole strength. Hope you should have understood what I have told here. What do you mean by this permeability? We can define permeability as that of permittivity. See, as you know already that permittivity of a medium is the ability of the medium to pass electrical lines through them. Similarly, permeability is nothing but the ability of the medium, nothing but ability of the medium to allow, to pass, to allow or to pass the magnetic lines of force. The magnetic lines of force. So this is taken to be the permeability of the medium. Okay. So let us recall what we have studied. Let us summarize. See what we are going to study now. We are going to study about a law called to be Coulomb's inverse square law. As we know, in magnetism, like poles repel each other and unlike poles attract each other. Either there may be a force of attraction or a repulsion in between the two pole strengths. That force of attraction or repulsion in between the two pole strengths can be studied with the help of Coulomb's inverse square law. So in order to study that, you consider two magnetic dipoles or two Bohr magnets. Let one of the Bohr magnet be A and another Bohr magnet be B. Let the pole strength of the Bohr magnet A be QMA and QMA, and pole strength of Bohr magnet B is QMB and QMB. You consider the Bohr magnet A and Bohr magnet B in such a way that they are separated by a small distance r. According to Coulomb's law, either the force of attraction or the repulsion in between the two magnetic pole strengths is directly proportional to the product of the pole strengths and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So in mathematical form, I can write that F proportional to product of pole strength. Pole strength of the first Bohr magnet is QMA and for the second Bohr magnet is QMB. So I am writing F proportional to QMA into QMB. Similarly, force is inversely proportional. So I am writing F is proportional to 1 by square of the distance or square. Combining, I can write F proportional to QMA into QMB by R square. Remove the proportionality constant, remove the proportionality, you can introduce a constant. So F is equal to constant K into QMA into QMB by R square. Now F is equal to K into, that is, I am writing it in vector form. So I can write force, here I have written. So in vector form, I can write F vector equal to K into QMA into QMB by R square into R cap. R cap one unit vector. What is the value of K then? The value of the constant K is equal to mu0 divided by 4 pi in SI units. In this, the value of mu0 can be determined. It is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Henry by meter, and the mu0 is called to be permeability of free space or air. What do you mean by permeability? Permeability is nothing but ability of the medium to pass magnetic lines through them. If the medium is other than air, then the value of K will be mu by 4 pi. So let us consider mu as the permeability of the medium. But considering the medium as air medium or free space, we can say that the force F vector equal to mu0 by 4 pi into QMA into QMB by R square into R cap. See, here let us make a note. What is that note? If the medium is other than air, medium is other than air, then I can say the value of K equal to mu by 4 pi. So F vector will be equal to mu divided by 4 pi into QMA into QMB divided by R square into R cap. As we know, QMA is the pole strength of Bohr magnet A, QMB pole strength of Bohr magnet B. You see, let us, in order to differentiate these two, that is, one is air medium and another one is a medium other than air. Let us consider this as F dash, or I can write it out as Fm. If you are dividing the force in the medium to force in the air medium, then you are dividing this F dash by F, the force in medium divided by force in air medium. I can able to get the relation as mu divided by mu0, as you have studied in electrostatics. So here you can get mu by mu zero. Mu by mu zero can be written as mu r. This mu r is relative permeability. It is called to be relative permeability. In electrostatics, it is relative permittivity. Here it is relative permeability, which is a constant. And this relative permeability mu r is equal to 1 for air medium or for free space. இதெல்லாம் bookல இல்லடா, தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கோ. Entrance point of view very, very important. அப்போ from this equation I can write, therefore permeability of the medium is equal to mu 0 into mu r. அப்ப என்ன அர்த்தம்? Permeability of the medium is equal to product of permeability of the free space and relative permeability of the medium. So like that of permittivity, you can able to study permeability also. Note this as a separate note, which will be useful for you in solving problems in entrance examinations. See, here I have told that mu r is equal to 1 for air or free space. For all other mediums, we can say mu r is greater than that of 1. The repulsive force between two magnetic poles in air is 9 into 10 to the power of minus 3 Newton. If the poles are equal in strength and are separated by a distance of 10 centimeter, calculate the pole strength of each pole. See example problem 3.5 in page number 135. Come on, go through the problem again. The repulsive force between the two magnetic poles. So repulsive force is F, which is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of minus 3 Newton. If the two poles are equal in strength and are separated by a distance. So distance of separation R is equal to 10 centimeter, 10 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meter. Calculate the pole strength of the both, either the A and B. Okay, you have to calculate the pole strength. And it was given that two poles are of equal in strength. So let us consider QMA equal to QMB equal to QM, and we have to calculate this value QM, isn't it? QMA should be equal to QMB, and let us consider that is equal to QM because it is given. What is the formula for calculating the force? As you know, force F is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into QMA into QMB divided by R square. This is the general formula. Now you substitute. Mu 0 is 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 divided by 4 pi into. Here QM equal. So I can write QM square divided by R square. Now when I am substituting the values, the value of F is 9 into 10 to the power of minus 3 equal to. This 4 pi will get cancelled. So 10 power minus 7 into QM square divided by R square is 100 into 10 power minus 4. So when I am simplifying this, I can write like this: QM square equal to 9 into 10 power minus 3. When these are cancelled, I can able to get 10 power minus 3, minus 2 taken to the other side divided by this 10 power minus 7 taken to the other side. I can write like this. See this 10 power minus 3, 10 power minus 2, 10 power minus 5. And I am dividing here, I will be getting it as 10 power minus 2. So QM square is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of 2. What is the value of QM then? Take a square root. QM will be then equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 1. Pole strength measured in terms of ampere meter. So QM is equal to 30 ampere meter, or another one also I have told, that is Newton per Tesla, NT to the power of minus 1, as magnetic field B is force per pole strength. Force can be written as magnetic field into pole strength. Force is equal to, here we are in need of pole strength, isn't it? So I can write pole strength QM is equal to force per magnetic field. So what is this force? Force in terms of Newton, magnetic field in terms of Tesla. taking it to the numerator, we can write QM is equal to what? QM is equal to Newton per Tesla. So I have written the unit as Newton per Tesla here. So this is the problem. You just copy it out. We are going to study about expression for the magnetic field at a point along the axial line of a magnetic dipole or a Bohr magnet. So in order to explain this, I am considering a Bohr magnet. Okay, I am considering a Bohr magnet. See, when I am taking the Bohr magnet, let one end is having the south pole and the other end is having the north pole. The pole strengths are equal and opposite in nature. Let QM and QM be the pole strengths. Let 2L be the length of the Bohr magnet. Let O be the geometric center. So I can say OS as L and ON as another L. You consider a line, an imaginary line, which joins the south pole and the north pole, which is taken as the axial line of the Bohr magnet. You extend this axial line of the Bohr magnet and mark a point C on the axial line in such a way that let the distance of the point C is at a distance R from the geometric center O. If I am considering the point C I am calculating or considering the point C along the axial line at a distance R from the geometric center. Now you see the point C will be experiencing two magnetic fields, one due to the south pole and another one due to the north pole. The magnetic field experienced at C due to the north pole will be acting in what direction? It will be acting away from that of along the positive x-axis. That is, if you are calculating the magnetic field B at C due to the north pole, it will be acting along the same direction, along the positive x-axis. At the same time, the magnetic field at this point C due to the south pole will be acting along the axial line, but in what direction? In this direction, in the direction along the opposite x-axis. Why you are saying it like this? If you want to calculate the magnetic field at this point C, at this point C, you have to place a unit north pole. You have to place a unit north pole. What is this unit north pole? Unit north pole is nothing but 1 ampere meter of north pole. See, already I have given you, or I have told you, what is this magnetic field? Magnetic field is nothing but force per pole strength. Now you see, here you are having the north pole. Here I have placed, at this point C, I have placed the unit north pole. What will be the force? Whether the force is repulsive or attractive? Come on. Whether the force is attractive or repulsive. Here you are having a north pole. Here you are having another unit north pole. So you will be having a repulsive force. Repulsive force means it will be acting along the positive x-axis. So the repulsive force F divided by the unit pole strength at this point C will be giving you B. So it is acting along the positive x-axis. Similarly, if you are calculating the force on unit north pole due to south pole, then the force is considered to be attractive. That is negative x-axis. If the force is attractive along the negative x-axis, force per unit pole strength is magnetic field due to the south pole. Hope you should have clearly understood this concept. Now I am writing. See, before writing, I have to consider some small introductory factor. What are the small introductory factors? Sn. Let it be the Bohr magnet. Okay. See, in this Bohr magnet, let 2L taken to be the length of the Bohr magnet. Length of Bohr magnet. Then let us consider Qm taken to be the pole strength of the Bohr magnet. Then we can say the distance OS or the distance ON taken to be semi-length of the Bohr magnet, which is equal to L. If you are considering the distance from O to C, then from O to C, it is taken to be R. Similarly, you calculate the distance from N to S. See, if you are not N to S, N to C, if you are calculating the distance between N to C, you can say, what is the value of N to C? See, O to C is R. O to N is L. So R minus L is N to C. R minus L. Similarly, if you are considering S to C, the distance between S and C, see, from O to C it is R, from O to S it is L, so the total distance is R plus L. And also let us consider, let Pm be the magnetic moment. Pm be the magnetic moment. So if Pm be the magnetic moment, then we can define Pm as, what is the value of Pm? One of the pole strength multiplied with the distance. So pole strength is Qm and the distance of separation is 2L. So I can write 2 Qm L taken to be the pole strength. In what direction it will be acting? Acting from south pole to north pole. See, let us consider all these as an introductory part. Now we are going for the derivation. What we are going to derive? See, first of all, I am going to calculate magnetic field at C due to the North Pole N. Due to the North Pole N. What is that magnetic field due to North Pole N? I am writing it as Bn is equal to, direct book answer direct, but having in my mind the formula B is equal to F by Qm. Okay, so what is F? F will be mu 0 divided by 4 pi into one of the pole strength at N is Qm into the pole strength at C is 1 divided by the distance Nc square multiplied it with, if it is an B vector, then I have to multiply it with I cap. Am I correct? Hope you should have understood this. Now you substitute for Nc. Correct? Force per unit pole strength. Unit pole strength means Qm is 1. What is force? Force between the Qm and unit north pole placed at the point C. So therefore, what is the value of Bn vector? Which is mu 0 divided by 4 pi into Qm divided by, what is Nc square? It is R minus L, the whole square. R minus L, the whole square. And acting along the positive x-axis. So I am writing it as I cap. Take this as equation number 1. Now, let us write again. Or if you want, you can write here. Here, the distance R minus L is equal to distance between the pole strength N and the point C. Similarly, you calculate what? Similarly, you calculate magnetic field at the point C due to the south pole. Due to the south pole. South pole is S. Then the answer you should get is B vector due to south pole equal to the same concept. Force you have to calculate. Mu 0 divided by 4 pi Qm into 1 divided by 1, and the distance is S n the whole square. And you see BS is acting towards the south pole. That is along the axis in the negative x-axis. So you put minus of I cap, isn't it? Negative x-axis. Now you simplify. Bs vector is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into Qm by, what is Sn? Already we have calculated Ns or Sn is, sorry, Snla, it is Sc, sorry, Sc square. What is Sc? Sc is R plus L. So it is R plus L, the whole square, multiplied it with minus I cap, where you can write R plus L is equal to distance between the South Pole and the point C, where we have to calculate the net magnetic field. Now, how I can write this? I can write like this: Bs vector is equal to magnetic field at the South Pole is equal to, take this minus outside, so minus of mu 0 divided by 4 pi into Qm divided by, what is the value? R plus L, the whole square into I cap. Take this as equation number 2. Any difficulty? Now we have calculated the magnetic field acting at the point C due to North Pole and the due to South Pole separately. So the point C in this diagram is experiencing two magnetic fields. I have to calculate what is the net magnetic field acting at the point C due to this magnetic dipole or due to this magnetic magnet, that is the Bohr magnet. So I am calculating what is the net magnetic field. So we are going to calculate net magnetic field at the point C, which we can write it out as B vector, which is equal to Bn vector plus Bs vector, vector sum of the two magnetic fields. How I can write this? So I can write B vector is equal to, what is Bn vector? I know mu 0 divided by 4 pi into. So only mathematical simplification. You have to write Qm by R minus L the whole square into I cap plus, again bracket, minus of mu 0 divided by 4 pi into Qm by R plus L the whole square, multiplied it with, again you will be getting it with the I cap. Now on simplifying or simplifying this, what we can write? See, step by step, let us move on. B vector equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into Qm by R minus L the whole square into I cap plus minus of mu 0 divided by 4 pi into Qm by R plus L the whole square into I cap. Isn't it? Take common. You can write B vector is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into, take Qm as the common for both, Qm into 1 divided by R minus L the whole square minus 1 divided by R plus L the whole square, again with I cap. Now you simplify the quantities inside the bracket. So I can write B vector equal to mu 0 by 4 pi into Qm. Now you see, take an LCM, R minus L into R plus L, A minus B into A plus B, A square minus B square. Again you are having a square, so I can write R square minus L square the whole square. What will be available here on cross multiplying? You will be getting R plus L the whole square minus R minus L the whole square into I cap. So B vector is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into Qm into denominator as it is, R square minus L square the whole square. You simplify this by expanding R square plus L square plus 2RL. Here what you can able to get, see, R square plus L square minus 2RL multiplied with 1 minus. So I get minus R square minus L square, but instead of minus of minus plus 2RL. Hope you should have understood. Now you simplify. What is that simplification? This R square and this R square will get cancelled. This L square will get cancelled. So what is the simplification now? B vector is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into QM into. See, in the denominator, you will be having R square minus L square, the whole square. See, in the numerator, 2RL plus 2RL, you can able to write it out as 4RL into I cap. So how I can simplify this again? Say I am writing this in and rearranging. How you see? B vector equal to, I am taking mu 0 divided by 4 pi into QM into. Instead of this 4RL, I am writing like this 2R into 2L divided by R square minus L square, the whole square. Am I correct? Into I cap. How I can simplify this, you see? Mu 0 divided by 4 pi into, I am taking this 2R outside. 2R into, I am multiplying this QM with the 2L. I am writing QM into 2L divided by R square minus L square, the whole square, into I cap. Now you see, what is this QM into 2L? But we know that this QM into 2L is magnetic dipole moment PM. Therefore, what is B vector? B vector equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into 2R into, what is this value? I can write PM by R square minus L square, the whole square into I cap. Hope you should have understood. This is a formula for what? This is the formula for the magnetic field at a point along the axial line of a bar magnet. This is one equation. I can simplify this equation also by considering a small approximation. What is that approximation? Since the value of R is taken to be less than that of, value of R is considered to be greater than that of 2L. Because when you are considering a bar magnet, what is a bar magnet? Having two poles, north pole and south pole, having equal magnitude, separated by a small distance. So 2L itself is taken to be small. So when I am taking the distance R from the center point O to the point C, that R distance is taken to be large when you are considering 2L. So R is taken to be greater or larger compared with the 2L. Therefore, R square is considered to be very, very greater than that of L square. Or I can write like this, L square is very, very less than that of R square. And so L square can be neglected. L square can be neglected when compared with R square. When compared with R square. So when you are comparing with R square, L square is very, very small. So if when you are leaving it out, you can get B vector equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into 2R into PM by. When you are leaving out this L square, you will be able to get it out as R power 4 into I cap. Here one R and here one R power 4, you will be getting R cube. So what will be your formula then? Your formula will be then B vector is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into 2 PM, isn't it? 2 PM divided by R cube into I cap, divided by R cube into I cap. This is the formula for what? This is the formula for magnetic field at a point along the axial line of a bar magnet. This can also be written as R. How I can write this? See, B vector equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into 2 PM PM is magnitude, magnetic dipole ude magnitude into I cap, unit vector ala multiply பண்ணும்போது this will become PM vector divided by R cube. This is considered to be what? This is taken to be the magnetic field. So the magnetic field is acting in the direction of the magnetic dipole moment. So this expression gives the magnetic field at a point, the magnetic field at a point along the axial line of a bar magnet, axial line of a magnetic dipole or a bar magnet. Very important question. Here, if you can say like this also. Direction of magnetic field B vector is direction of magnetic field B vector is in the same direction as that of dipole moment, magnetic dipole moment PM vector, because in this expression I have written B vector equal to mu0 by 4 pi 2 by R cube into PM vector. Mu0 constant, 4 pi constant, ellame scalar. Mu0 scalar, 4 pi scalar, 2 scalar, R cube scalar. So PM vector gives you the direction of the magnetic field at the point on the axial line. புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Any difficulty? So you have to summarize.